Caitlin, let's go over your paper. You made some good improvements to your paper. And here's the rubrics I used for grading it. I found your who whiches. You're using your who whiches appropriately, so you got full credit for that. I found your strong verbs. You're using those correctly, so you got full credit for that. There were no spelling errors. I didn't see any LYs marked or any www.asia clauses or quality adjectives marked. So that's what brought you down on this. But let's go ahead and let's end this paper. I can see that you've improved from your first draft to your second one. There's significant improvement, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for improvement in your writing. And we're going to go ahead and start with your next assignment. But before I give you your next assignment, I do want to just go over a couple of things in your paper so that you'll know for next time. And again, your paper was much improved, and you marked where you marked it like strong verb. I was able to give you credit, another strong verb. You're using your who whiches appropriately. Just a couple of things, and I'm going to go ahead and put my pen on so I can mark it for you. Being employed, he took advantage of the city, and we don't really need this comma here. By attending the theater, mingling with the populace, and going to the coffee houses. So we have our first one in our series is 1, by attending theater, comma, mingling with the populace, comma, and going to coffee houses. So that's a nice series, but you don't put a comma in front of the start of the series. And also good use of your semicolon. You have subject, noun, verb on both sides. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for sentences on both sides of that semicolon. Good job on that. One thing that I saw a couple of times, and this was in your punctuation, it was using appositives, and an appositive is when you restate something for the reader and you put commas around it, and this is basically just a restating. He also fathered his son, comma, William, because that's the same person. That's an appositive, because you could take it out. He also fathered his son during this time. So this is just extra information, so set it off with commas. That happened a few times. I think his first son, Francis, right here, his first son, again, it's the same person. Their first son was born in 1732, so you could take out Francis. So this is extra information, so set it off with commas. I think you did that with his daughter also. Here it is. In 1743, his treasured daughter, Sarah, was born. Extra information, set it off by commas. I found a couple fragments, but we're not going to worry about that right now. I want to just focus on a couple of skills each lesson. And so let's go through and just work on those appositives. I think that was all the appositives. And I will have your paper up there. You can see all the marks on it. But it's a definite improvement. And what I want to do is I want to start with a new assignment and start kind of back at the beginning, because I want to see your grade for a paragraph to be higher than a D minus. I think I inserted a blank page in the middle of your, here it is. Okay, I'm going to write on this. So for your assignment, I want you to first pick a source, and you can pick any source, anything you want to write about, anything you find interesting. So I don't care what you write about. I just care about that you're able to use these writing strategies and stylistic techniques. So pick something that you find interesting. And when you pick your source, it has to have an author, it has to have a date, and it has to have a publication. So when you're searching the internet for something you're interested for, make sure there's an author and a date that they wrote it and somebody who published it, like National Geographic or Life or Time or Sports Illustrated, that there's a publisher. So pick your source. And then do an outline, 15 points only. And then I want you to write your summary paragraph. Let's try and do it in one paragraph. And then we're going to dress it up. And we're still working on those 5 dress ups. I can see that you've mastered the strong verbs, so keep up the work with the strong verbs. So you're good at that one. You're good at the who, which, but that doesn't mean we're leaving it off for now. I still want to see them in your paragraph. The ones that I didn't see in your writing were the quality adjectives. And you're going to have to mark those for me. And the www.asias. And our LYs. So our quality adjectives, you can do that the same way you do strong verbs. The www.asia, remember this is a clause. And the www.asia is just helping you remember words you can start the clause with, but you can start a clause with lots of different words. But it's like while, when, where, as, since, if, and although. So those are our www.asia. Those are our main clausal words. And if we start a sentence with the www.asia, like although, and I think you used it, you just didn't mark it. Although he was tired, comma, he wouldn't go to sleep, period. If we start with our clause is first, we put a comma, and then we have our sentence. Now, if we have our sentence first and our clause after it, no comma. So if we would have put, he wouldn't go to sleep although he was tired. If we did it the other way, we don't put a comma. So this is an important way to distinguish when you put a comma and when you don't. If your clause begins a sentence, it needs a comma. If the sentence begins with the basic sentence and you have your clause second, then you don't use a comma. So that's your www.asia. Your ly can be any adverb. Just start trying to dress up those adverbs. And quality adjective, you can do that the same way that you do a strong verb with word. You find an adjective and right click on it. I'm looking through here. Let's say we picked harsh. Let's see if there's any and see unsympathetic treatment. And then you could mark that as a quality adjective. So look for adjectives, witty and imaginative. Those are good quality adjectives. You just didn't mark them. So I want to make sure that you're recognizing your adjectives and you know when it's a quality adjective. So this, like Franklin broadened, that's a nice strong verb, his education at the printing trade. He lodged, good strong verb, where he met and courted Reed's. And see right here when you had this comma, that's in a positive, but you did put the comma because courted Reed's daughter and Deborah are the same person. I'm looking for some more adjectives. Franklin's prominence and success grew. Franklin amassed real estate businesses and also organized. Let's see, to counteract. Well, I'm not finding any adjectives that are popping out at me right now. And maybe that's what you need to beef up your writing with a little bit, is adjectives. But in this case, most of these I don't think could be changed. His romantic life. Let's see if there's a synonym for romantic. No, I think romantic's the best word there. For its intellectual, it could pick scholarly. So you can use the right click in your word to change your adjectives to more appropriate adjectives. And also you can use the right click to change your verbs, which you're very good at picking strong verbs. So for your next assignment, you pick the source and 15-point outline, write a 1-paragraph summary, that'd be about 1 page, and include all of these dress-ups. I want to see that you're able to do all these dress-ups. If you're having problems with the dress-ups, let me know when you're at Grace and I'll go over them with you. Most of them are self-explanatory, but they do require that you can identify your parts of speech and identify clausal words. So pick something you're interested in, but just make sure it has an author, a date, and a publication. That's the end of the video.